Hey Rangers, I 3D printed this classic Power Ranger Megazord and decided since I'm not great at making things look good, I'm gonna ruin it instead. The goal is to have a Megazord that is rusted and decaying after falling in battle. And to challenge myself with something new, I'm gonna add a waterfall feature with real water that'll be pouring over its fallen body. I was inspired to do this because of those office desktop waterfall features, the ones with like the sound effects that convey tranquility. Don't know if this apocalyptic wasteland Zord is going to have the same vibe at the end, but we'll see. After priming and doing a base coat for the primary colors, I realized that my scale for the project was wrong. The broken rubble that I 3D printed just wasn't the right size. The container base was too small, and my first tests with running water were problematic at best. Nothing just went well with the scale of how big the Megazord print was, and it is huge, coming in at about 10 inches tall. So while I painted the Megazord, those problems were in the back of my mind, but for now, enjoy a montage while I paint. Fully painted, it's now time to ruin the model. Enjoy the color while it lasts. First, I hit the body with a black wash to darken the shadows, then I used a sponge with metallic paint to create the effect that the Zord has chipped paint in various places and the machinery underneath is starting to show through. I dry brushed on various browns to start applying the rust effect, but really it just looked dirty until I used the sponge again. This time with a bit of orange and yellow paint here and there to bring out rust, and it creates the desired effect. Lastly, I painted over the model with a rust wash, which was probably more heavy-handed than I needed to go, but we'll just pretend that another 1,000 years had passed by with this fallen titan just decaying in the wasteland. The abandoned home that I printed originally was the wrong size, and to avoid being wasteful, that started up a new project with a fallen Optimus Prime model. One might say that I transformed it for a new purpose. But that's just foreshadowing for a future video. At the present, I'm building a command center on Tinkercad to take its place. And the idea is that the waterfall's hose will lead up the center cylinder and spill over the top of it. Before I printed it, I also gave it some damage to fit the setting, so you see slashes and missing chunks. Clearly, it sustained major structural damage in the battle when the Megazord was defeated and rests powerless at its base. If you're ever wondering how much procrastination happens along these videos, it's long enough that a spider made its home in the command center. But eventually, when I got my act together and put it all together, I applied a varnish to protect the paint from getting wet, and then I struggled for much longer than you might think to get the waterfall flowing properly. But with all that said and done, without further ado, I give you Megazord Falls. Not to rain on my own parade here, but as much as I like the outcome, I don't love it. I really like how the Megazord came out, but something's not right about the landscape. Maybe it needs a canyon, some mountainous features, rocks, trees, maybe it needs resin. I don't know yet, so I'm going to walk away for a while, work on some of my other projects that are distracting me, and we'll get back to this one. So for now, let's just say to be continued. I'll see you next time.